here to New Ulm County Sheriff Mike Reese. Thank you for speaking with us tonight, panel. So tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to walk through what's been referred to as the RED report. It's the Racial and Ethnic Disparities and Relative Rate Index summary data in the Multnomah County report. That's the full language we're going to mouthful. But this report was published in early 2016, and it notably indicated that in Multnomah County's justice system, Black people are 320% more likely to have than white people to have their crimes accepted for prosecution, 500 times more likely to spend time in jail, and 600 times more likely to be sentenced to prison. This is what this disparity is referring to notably. So for this informational session, this is how this is set up, almost like a press conference. We're going to get information, we're going to discuss it as we go along, as well as a dedicated Q&A at the end. It's about the data that our law enforcement received and the policy changes they've made and are making to get these numbers down to 1-to-1. These new policies include LEAD, which is Law Enforcement Assisted Diversion, just launched yesterday, which is a pre-booking no jail program for low-level drug offenders, which was used successfully in Seattle to help diminish these disparities and implemented, like I said, in Portland, and you'll hear about this a lot tonight. So that's background briefly. I just want to walk through the Q&A during the informational session at the beginning, which we've shaken up the format a little bit by request of our panel, so we can get some feedback from students during the presentation. So that'll be an hour and 15 minutes, taking student questions throughout for clarification about how to make these infrastructure changes, data needs, that sort of thing. After the presentation will be a 15-minute Q&A. Again, we shift up a little bit. Questions from you guys. And what we're looking for, just so we can get as much information about this topic as possible, hear from as many people as possible. We're going to ask that it keeps, so we'll do cross-examination rules, keeping the scope of discussion, because there's just so much information here. I want to get as much of it out as possible. And this will be for the panel and for the attendees, keeping it short, keeping it simple. So again, we can hear from as many people as possible and get out all this great info. So does that sound fair? Can we get little eyes? Yeah? Fabulous. All right. Without further ado, let's hear from the panel. Let's let's start with you.
Hey, well, thank you, Sarah, and thanks to Lewis Clark Law School for having us come and have this very important conversation. And the three of us, as you can see, we're sitting up here. We're trying not to stand and be behind a lectern or anything like that, which I'm used to in a courtroom, for example. We want this to feel a lot like a town hall and have as best we can, right, both information to you and interactive questions from the students and such as we move forward. So I've been asking from a little bit more of a foundational standpoint, a bit more about the genesis of the MacArthur report, if you will. There were two aspects of the MacArthur report. One of them looked and did a deep dive, and that's been touched on here. And we're going to, I think, really spend predominantly our time talking about the racial and ethnic disparity aspect of the report. There's another aspect of the MacArthur report looking at jail usage, both length of stay, rates of incarceration, that kind of thing. There's another aspect of the MacArthur report that started back, if we were to go back in time, really the body of work began around the middle of what would be 2015. That's when the gathering of data initially began. It was a robust effort on their part to gather information, right? Like any research and analysis report, it's gather information, but also formulating questions. Now, it wasn't just Multnomah County in Oregon that was the only local agency or county, for example, around the country. There, if I remember right, don't want to be wrong, but I think there were about 20 different counties around our country that had MacArthur come join them, looked at some of the same questions, did the same analysis, all with a hope for both informing us of information that maybe we knew anecdotally, but let's look at it statistically, helping us to, as a community, then decide what adjustments, if any, do we want to make. And as a result of the report, which I'll kind of summarize again for at least for right now, we're going to do deeper dives. The report came out right around January of 2016, so a little more than a year ago today. And so most of this evening is premised on, so what's the report say and what's been done in that say 12, 14, 15-month window of time. Because while, the report came out in January, of course, we're participating in it, we're starting to get information that's helping to inform us in the November, December, January time period as we move from 15 to 16. So when the report came out, there was a call to action, not just within my office, as we wanted to look and consume the report, understand the report, understanding that what you'll see over my left-hand shoulder, we're going to walk through this at the appropriate time, and here in a minute I'm going to kick it over to our chief. But we're going to walk through the report on the decision points, because those of you who have read the McCarthy report know that they broke it down into 7 major decision points in the criminal justice system. Conceitedly, all of them touch each of the 7 decision points in some way, shape, or form. But I think more directly, there are certain areas where we take more of a prominent role relative to, say, arrest, right? One of the decision points, by way of example, I'll wrap it up, is on the issue of appointment of counsel. None of the 3 of us have anything to do with appointment of counsel. That's a court-based function. So we're not going to spend a lot of time on appointment of counsel, but we will talk about arrests. We will talk about dispositions and charging. We will talk about sentencing. Those are things that the panel here really touch in a robust way. Marshall?
Thanks. Again, thanks for having us here tonight. I'll be brief too to help us keep on track. But as the DA mentioned, the police are obviously at the front end of a lot of these issues. So with our portion of being involved in the McCarthy report, I kind of focused on, for the department, 4 big areas. So we have a deep conversation one on data. Because data is a key piece of this, and I'm kind of data long. Data can be problematic, but I think you need to have data to have a foundation of where to start from. And what's the truth out there on the street? Policy changes, I think, are critical. I think some of the policies in the past were problematic and drove these issues. So how can we change policy to stem some of the disparities we're seeing? Collaboration. The district attorney can't do it by himself. The sheriff can't do it by himself. Social services can't do it. Schools can't do it. Healthcare can't do it. I think all those entities need to come to the table and have like a considered path, so you don't have a bunch of silos. I think in the past, silos and systems were a problem. And lastly, which I think is, for me personally, one of the more important portions of this is diversion. Not putting people in jail. A lot of folks, I think, if you put them in jail, it's not the right place, it doesn't help them, they don't get the help they need, the cure, the social service, whatever it might be, and we just see them again and again and again. That's just problematic for everybody in the system, the community, the families. So how do we, the police, we come in contact with some folks, trying to understand what issues they might have in their life and get them not into jail, but to leave the law enforcement assisted diversion, some other pathway to help them get back on track, if you will, and not go to jail. And I think the police are an integral part of that portion. We're trying to do that in not small areas with gangs, drugs, mental health issues, other issues like that. So it's an important piece of this, though I think if you look at the slide initially, the arrest is a tiny piece. I think I wouldn't weight the 7 areas, but I think they all have to be looked at together and not individually.
So I'll kind of segue off of what Mike said and talk a little bit about how this report is informing a lot of different conversations within our criminal justice system. So Chief Marshman and DA Underhill and myself, our presiding court judge, defense bar manager Lane Ward, our director of community justice, and a number of system partners all meet almost weekly to talk about how to better utilize criminal justice resources and fundamentally keep people out of the state prison system. So we're trying, this conversation is happening in a bigger context. Statewide, we're involved in justice reinvestment. So trying to keep people out of the state prison system, hold them in local communities where we can provide treatment, housing, closer supervision around criminality, reduce recidivism. And this conversation about racial and ethnic disparities is coming up in every single conversation we have. Specific to the Sheriff's Office, we have a law enforcement responsibility, mainly in East Multnomah contract cities like Troutdale and Wood Village and Maywood Park. We run the largest jail system in the state of Oregon. We have 2 facilities, the Multnomah County Justice Center, and then also Inverness in Northeast Portland. We have right now about 1,200 jail beds available. At a time when we're trying to downsize the state system, we're seeing a slight increase in our local jail population with those efforts. So instead of sentencing people to prison, we're actually, judges are making decisions to hold them locally, and hopefully through programs and housing, drug treatment is a big issue, try and break that cycle of recidivism. But it is driving our jail population up a little bit. And then the sheriff's office books about, primarily the Portland Police Bureau bring the largest number of arrestees into our custody, but we have about 35,000 people that are booked every year, individual cases. About 30% of those people are immediately released on their own recognizance. So we have very aggressive policies around releasing people at the front end. And that is reviewed with our presiding court judge annually, if not with the population that's left that are booked, that 35,000, 30% are released on their own recognizance. And then after that, the court makes decisions at arraignment about releasing people, so bail or to other release options. And then there's a population that's held in custody pre-trial. We also have people that are sentenced in our system, and then also some who are serving sanctions through parole and probation. It's important to realize the sheriff's office and our jail commanders don't control who's booked, and we also don't control who's released. What we have responsibility for is maintaining safety and security and treating everybody in our custody with dignity and respect, something that I take very seriously. So thank you.
Before we move on, I just have a quick question for Chief Marshman. I was reading reviewing your bios in preparation for this event. It looks like you're involved in the DOJ team involved policy, which I understand predated the report. Can you talk a bit about your work on that team, just briefly, and how that led to the report?
Sure. So my previous assignment before becoming chief was as a captain in the Strategic Services Division, which oversaw Department of Justice compliance. Sheriff was the chief, and I volunteered for that assignment. He promoted me to captain. It's after the Department of Justice came in and had their findings letter. The city entered into an agreement with the Department of Justice, and the agreement was entered into federal court, and then the timeline began. A portion of the police bureau's policies, about 60 of our policies, basically how the officers are mandated to do their work, fell under the umbrella of the Department of Justice agreement, and I oversaw the rewrite, or beginnings of the rewrite of all those policies. A lot of those policies focused on accountability, force, behavioral health unit, which is a big portion of the agreement. All that ties into the data piece of that. So it can get kind of dry, kind of technical, but the policy piece of the agreement with the Department of Justice is extremely important. And your policies are obviously going to drive how your folks on the street act, which then by default impacts the operations on the street and arrest and things like that. So the policy piece for the change inside the organization is, in my opinion, critical.
So now we'll move on to the meat of our talk here. This will be about essentially what we learned from the report, what the data breakdown was, the further analysis, and then the policies that were developed and informed by this data and the specifics of the data breakdown. So we'll move to you.
Thanks again. And so this next step, what we're going to try and do is, well, what we're going to plan to do is walk through a presentation that both is going to outline what did MacArthur actually find. Now they tend to use a phrase called RRI, or I should say an acronym, RRI. It stands for Relative Rate Index. That's the methodology that was used by the MacArthur Foundation. That's the methodology that we then adopt, and the county and our local public safety coordinating county partners are also kind of adopted. So when you hear RRI, the genesis of that is, as it relates to this, is in Carl's report. So we're going to talk about what they found. And as this document, if your eyes tilt up, you'll see there are racial and ethnic disparities existing in the criminal justice system. All of us that read the report were bothered in different areas, in different ways, by different aspects of what we saw. The biggest question for us then, as individuals, as groups, as our profession, what are you going to do about it? And that's what we're going to move into after kind of outlining what they found. And then, the challenging part is, so as citizens in this community, are you doing anything about some of this troubling information that you see, right? Because we are, the next line right below what we see in the report is working with public safety partners toward fairness and justice in Multnomah County. And so you'll be the kind of a little bit the judge, if you will, of are you guys working in this area? Are you making adjustments? Are you making policy improvements? If so, what are they, and are you doing enough, right? And that's what we want to talk to you about. So let's talk. Let me back it up. We'll rewind a little bit. What did the report say? Now, as you see,